I think anyone who describes this as a quote-unquote peace plan, and there you go, I just fell into the trap because we keep hearing this phrase all the time, it's malpractice. This is not a peace plan. When you hear any political candidate for office, any journalist referring to it as a peace plan, you really need to stop and think twice about that, because this is a plan for apartheid. This is a plan for settler colonialism, as Professor Khalidi mentioned earlier before the break. And I think we need to be clear about our terms. And of course, you know, the New York Times put out a tweet yesterday when the plan came out, a breaking news tweet where they talked about the Palestinians being asked to make more concessions. Just that language that we have here in the US about Israel-Palestine, the idea that an occupied people who've had their land stolen from them are expected to concede that land to the people who've occupied them and stolen their land. It's madness. It's not language we would use in any other walk of life or in any other conflict. We don't use it in the context of Crimea, Ukraine, and Russia. But we do use it, and we have used it for years in the Middle East in relation to the occupied territories. What's so interesting about the current moment, of course, is that Donald Trump, there's always a silver lining to Donald Trump's awfulness, and that is that he takes any issue, and he's so extreme on it. He's so extreme, even by American presidential standards, that he forces people off whatever fence they were sitting on. And I think what he's done in the last 24 hours, with the help of his son-in-law, with the help of Netanyahu and MBS of Saudi Arabia, who's also endorsed this plan, is that he's forced people to basically take off the blinkers and recognize this for what it is. The conflict now is no longer Israel versus Palestine, as it's often set up. As Professor Khalidi pointed out, it's not. It's a one-sided war. But it's apartheid. And Americans now have to decide, do they support apartheid or do they not support apartheid? There's no more nonsense about two-state solutions and all of that rubbish. That's gone. That's finished, finally over. No one pretends it's still there on the table. It's, do you support apartheid or do you not support apartheid? That is what we should be asking Democratic presidential candidates, and that is what journalists should be discussing in the media, in their op-eds, in their cable news discussion panels.